This is CW Sports.
Two years from now, the eyes of the world will be on LA. Alamitos Beach is the future home sand of Team USA, and the AVP League is home to those seeking Olympic glory. Halfway through our 2026 season, many questions remain. Who is America's best pair? Who is the next beach volleyball superstar? As the finals in Chicago loom large on the horizon, who's a pretender? And who's a contender? The AVP League in Los Angeles is here with answers. And it all starts now. Week 5 finds us in the second largest city in LA County, Long Beach, a hub of historic architecture and culture in Southern California. And more beach volleyball history is going to be written today as the progressive AVP League drops in. We're going to start with Los Angeles versus Brooklyn on the women's side, Anderson and Chacon versus Denaburg and Donlin. We'll look at our cup standings. Remember, this is the chase with the men and the women combined. Palm Beach, the defending champs, they are looking strong once again. Time to make a statement if you're in the middle as we pass the midway point of the season. Welcome into our position once again. Hi, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside Cameron Irwin. We have Rich Lamborn on the sand. And Cam, we are just past halfway. And often in sport, you talk about peaking at the right time. Well, now on the women's side, you better be peaking mid-season.
You just called it a statement. That's exactly what these 4 women's pairings are going to look for in Week 5 action. All 4 of them sitting at 2-2, so trying to set themselves up for a second half surge. If not, it's going to be a dangerous game of chase all the way to Chicago. And on the men's side, it is a must-win situation for 2 of the 4 teams playing this weekend. That hovering danger you got to pay attention to in the second half.
All right, we have many excellent athletes on the AVP League who are vying for Olympic glory as well. This is the location where the tournament will be played. This is a good facsimile, a start to being in this environment. And we decided we would have our own gold medalist, chime in on it. Let's get to Rich Lamborn on the sand. Richie.
The Olympic Games, Kev, it's the pinnacle of achievement for so many athletes in so many sports. Beach volleyball is no exception to that. The opportunity to represent your country against the rest of the world is an honor unparalleled, and that is kind of what is in play for all these Olympic hopefuls here in our field here in Long Beach. It's an honor that you and I had a couple of times, almost inexplicably, Kev, but something that we did not have an opportunity to do was represent the USA in the USA on home soil. That is something that all our Olympic hopefuls are vying for. Will it affect today's competition? We'll have to wait and see, but what it will absolutely do, plant a seed, stoke the fire of that desire to get that Olympic berth, represent the USA in just 2 short years' time.
All right, we're going to get more into it as we go on here. A major world tournament happening last week. USA women taking 3 of the top 4 spots, including Denaburg and Donlin of Brooklyn, who are taking the sand in this first match.
When you pay attention to Denaburg and Donlin, this is a team, again, that won the championship just a year ago on the shores of Lake Michigan. They are a dangerous team that's looking to find their stride. They've had some health issues through the early stages. However, with their finish over the last weekend internationally, they're going to be a very formidable team coming out here in Long Beach.
Yeah, they are 2-2. So are the only rookie pair on the women's side, the LA Launch, who came out with a bang in Belmar and then went 0-2 in their last outing.
They're 2-2, but Alaina Chacon and Maddie Anderson have made several statements. All 4 of their matches have been just gritty competitions. Alaina Chacon has become one of the top defenders in the AVP League. All 4 of her matches, she has secured more than 20-plus digs. Those are simply wild numbers. You want to talk about a statement? This team has absolutely made one.
They're looking to make a push now to qualify for Chicago. Top 6 teams are going to go, and through 4 matches, this is the most effective defender in the AVP League. When she adds transition offense to her premier defense, LA has come up on the plus side. That's Alaina Chacon. And her partner, Maddie Anderson, is an All-American with her sights making a pro impact like that of her college impact. The all-time leader in wins at her university, Florida State. She's brought some big offense to the start of her pro career. They are ready for a good challenge in the defending champions, the Brooklyn Blaze, who last year went through to the title, played their best volleyball at the end.
And you can pay attention to Lexy, Denaburg, and Julia Donlin. Lexy has become a full-time defender in this previous split blocking combination. She is seeing the block just that much better every single time. However, I think this team needs to find some more offense. The numbers haven't been to that of their standard a season ago, both from Denaburg and Donlin. So look for them to kind of ramp up the heat from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, if you look at this team, this is a must-win weekend, right? They're 500, but these are two matches they should dominate. The defending champs, Lexy Denaburg, one of the most physical transition attackers in AVP League play. Look for her to convert digs to points and end rallies quickly. She'll be playing behind her partner, who a year ago was the kill leader. She's just now returning to form. Her sand legs under her. Julia Donlin is back to being a scorer at the net and dangerous from the service line.
Julia Donlin at 6 foot tall. Again, she can become that much more aggressive as a blocker, but I'm looking at the efficiency over the last 3 years. 2024, you think back, she was well over 500. Anything over 400, you're going, oh man, this is quite the performance. The 2025 season, she was still over 400, but it has significantly dropped off to 243.
Donlin knows LA is going to be a challenge.
Alaina and Maddie are new to the tour, the league this year, and they have so much momentum. They're playing really well internationally. They won an AVP League qualifier. They've really just held their own the first few weekends and played some really high-level volleyball. So I know it's going to be a battle. They're really talented, great athletes. So we're excited to get the chance to compete against them.
So settle in for this one. Here's the wildest stat on the LA side as Brooklyn faces them. LA is 6-6 in sets. They have scored 172 points. They've given up 173 points, and they've gone 3 sets, deuce, overtime in the third every single time as Anderson opens this one with a soft touch kill.
I think that's the definition of being 500, Kevin.
Yeah.
Across the board. A couple things to look for in this matchup. First and foremost, it's going to be the extended plays, those extended rallies, especially with Alaina Chacon. We mentioned the defense that she can bring to the court. How much is she able to find transition kills against this big-time team of the Brooklyn Blaze?
Yeah, they tend to take big swings, so that'll maybe be a different paradigm for LA. Instead of running shots down, you're going to dig some hard-driven balls.
Very likely you could be, and I'll be curious to see what Maddie Anderson's approach at the net is going to be. She has little blocking numbers a little bit lower than that of the rest of the league, but I'll see if she's going to pull off the net, maybe try and, oh my, as she just hammers one down the line.
Well, you know she's going to bring that. She's hitting 424 on the year, but you mentioned the blocking, 0.33 blocks per set. That is lowest on the women's side. Next up is Chang, actually, at 4.5 per set. I wonder how that plays with the defensive numbers we've seen behind Anderson, Chacon being so effective. Tough serve down the middle, nearly an ace. Anderson with the knuckle up. And does she get the finish? She does. That one stays on the Brooklyn side.
Well, and there's always different schemes, right? And when you have a defender like Alaina Chacon, oftentimes Maddie Anderson's job isn't necessarily to block the ball, but it's to funnel to her partner, who is one of the most tough defenders in the AVP League, and let her point score. However, you also have to take into account the matches in which they play. They were in Belmar in super windy conditions week 1, so a lot of pulling off the net.
Denaburg gets this one. There's a hard-driven dig. Chacon, transition, nobody up. Dug back over. Second attempt here. Soft one finds the mark off the hand of Donlin.
But there's that big-time dig from Alaina Chacon. Stays patient in the pocket, understands the opposite, coming in with plenty of force as she goes right over. Short trickle, line ball for Alaina Chacon.
Well, that's one of those you hate when the blocker gets a piece of it, because the defender was going to get there if it wasn't coming up short. Anderson stays at the line. Been incredibly effective from there. She'll go down the middle. Donlin to the left, and again, soft line.
And that's the complimentary shot from Julia Donlin, right? She understands going up. She likes to take big cuts at the ball, but beach volleyball is all about being well-rounded. Julia Donlin showcasing that she can go right over the top of the block.
Donlin said last season was a journey alongside Lexy Denaburg. That ball is served long by her partner. They played medium volleyball throughout, rounded in, and played their best volleyball in Chicago, which is where everyone's trying to get. A lot of that to be determined here in this weekend. As Cameron mentioned, if you weren't with us off the top, everyone 2-2. Ace serve down the middle, Chacon, and what a start for LA. Again, up and out quick, 6-2.
And talking to Alaina and Maddie this week, this is an area of focus, and actually they worked with their former coach, Nick Lucena, who's over with Brooke Niles at Florida State, where both of these athletes came from, and that was an area of focus, was how much more can we get after it from the service line. I know Nick Lucena is smiling somewhere.
Both players so complimentary of that program and the way that it prepared them for pro life. That one shot back over, run down. Don't on-one me. Chacon, tough opportunity against Donlin. Cover, and put over. Nobody up. There's a little switcheroo, but that ball done out of distance for LA.
What a rally from all four of these athletes.
There's those extended rallies. I think this match really could come down to some of these scramble type plays. Not only does it give you momentum, as there's the full extension from Lexy Denaburg, but you're really asserting yourself in terms of the length of this match. We know these are two of the grittiest, most competitive women's teams. Very likely could be going the distance to that 3-set mark.
Talk a lot about grittiness, or scrappy is the word used in volleyball. Often talks about a team that maybe made a few plays, a couple of rallies. This LA franchise is scrappy throughout. To have gone 4 matches in a row to go 3, and the scores at the end of these matches are ridiculous. 16-14, 22-20, and what was the longest set in women's history at the time. It was later fixed the next week. 15-17, 15-17, back-to-back in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and who stole that longest set title? The team on the opposite side of the net,
Denaburg
and Donlin.
I believe both involved New York in those matches. That ball is a little bit long, and Brooklyn has gained some ground back here from a sizable deficit to 6-5. Down the middle, Chacon stretches into the space. And she does a little inside out. Back to the line, 7-5.
1 point away from getting us to the side switch. We'll switch sides.
I mentioned the service pressure for LA. Another area of focus through this week is some of that transition setting, as well as their offense, really focusing on setting up their partner in those scramble type moments.
So here's Anderson. They've been trying to work that middle, this time right to Denaburg. Nice bump set for her. And there's a rare block for Anderson. Well, there's a good sign for LA.
For 8-5, we'll switch sides.
So the 8-point changeover here. It gives us a chance to look at the women's standings and how tight it is. Everybody 2-2 playing one another this weekend. So not only can you pick up a win, you can put somebody else down.
And tomorrow is going to be that much more exciting, right? Because then you're going to see the responses from the teams that maybe don't have their best performance on this Saturday. But Denaburg, Denaburg and Flint will also be in action. The Dallas Dream, as you have Anderson, Chacon, and Denaburg and Donlin also in the mix right now.
Bad pass, and that's an ace. Do you take your time out right now at 9-5? You really try and slow the game down?
That's hard because you just had the end change, the switch here, so you took a little extra moment. Brooklyn's going to give themselves one more.
No basic work days on the AVP.
Sticking with it, LA continuing to apply pressure. Middle serve, and that one goes long.
And it's 6-9.
In these sets to 15, though, I know the missed serve hurts, but LA with 2 early aces really setting the standard.
Risk versus reward when it comes to the service game. This one down the middle, circling around to the left goes Anderson, sprinting. Oh, transition was easy, but came hard, and an LA point. Big Brooklyn loss there.
Denaburg wanting this ball back right on her platform. Look at this. She actually starts twisting to her left and then back to her right side, tries to get her partner up to the net, but just too tight.
Offense dictating the results for Brooklyn, kind of as they did last year. Denaburg well off the net. That's in the bottom of the tape. Will it be timeout time now becomes the question. And indeed it is.
And that second contact, just not what Julia Donlin was looking for. Well off her platform. Anytime that you have an attacker coming up, you want to keep them nice and balanced. And you can see Lexy Denaburg kind of falling back as she's trying to hit that cut shot.
5-1 run as a timeout called by Brooklyn. You're enjoying beach volleyball right now. Coming up next, the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series heads to Atlanta, where speed, drafting, and inches can decide it all. Don't miss a second of pure raw racing from Atlanta. Coming up next, only on the CW. Talking about offense dictating life for the Brooklyn Blaze. If you look at their weekends, they've been 1-1 in the first 2 weekends of play, but the hitting stats in week 1 were superior. They hit 453, and then in week 2, they hit 118. Where do you think that's happening in the overall attack process or transition process? What can they improve to bring those numbers back to their standard, which is near that 450 mark?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of it, right, you have to think back to some of the conditions at which they were playing in, but also the fact that Julia Donlin had taken a good amount of time off before this preseason. She was dealing with some health issues, especially in the knee sector.
Yeah.
She's feeling much better. She had some procedures done, some PRP, and ultimately she's trying to build into LA 2028 and trying to be at peak performance and peak health to get there. And I think you're starting to see that start to surge a bit more, but still need to find a little bit more of just the clean level of volleyball. Some of the passing has gone awry, as well as their second contact.
Yeah, that one a just miss attack on a little slide 2 attempt from Denaburg. I spoke to Julia this morning about that. She said that the international tour was quite a challenge for her physically. She's been in a little rehab mode, but she has overall, as you described, been feeling better and building into the year. Said she's felt the best that she's felt coming into the last couple of weeks of action. And another long serve here, but just.
To force the referee.
Ooh, that might be on the line. What do you think, Cam? I see some wide eyes over there.
The hard part is the view you're seeing is the end zone view, so it's going to look a little bit more towards, because the line is just on the interior, but oh, it's going to depend on that ball mark.
Yeah, our officiating crew on top of it. 12-7 as scored. And it will flip. Going to go back to 13-6. A service in the books.
Their third in just this first set alone.
So much middle serving.
And this is all training, right? This is exactly what they spent their week doing, and it's coming to life right now.
7-1 the run to take control of this first frame. Oh, retreating Anderson eats that one up. Tempo to her, and that's another score. Domination taking place as we're at a set point.
If I'm LA, I'm feeling so good right now because everything they've worked on, there's that transition setting, even tempo from a knee, perfect delivery from Chacon, and pairing that with the service pressure.
The upstart rookies taking it to the defending champs. Down the middle once again, Denaburg slides to her left. Back up to the right, block. Second attempt, that'll score.
Not done yet. Lexy Denaburg with the cover. She puts it away.
It's also fun when you look at these two teams as a second set points coming back your direction, but LA is somewhat Brooklyn of last year in the women's partnerships.
Okay.
Because Brooklyn made a lot of statements, right? Not only did they pick up some early big time wins, but also the championship. LA has done just the same.
That one looking for the deep corner, finds it.
And that'll do it.
So the first set is history, 15-7. And this extends a tough run for Brooklyn, who's coming off one of their worst losses ever. They lost 15-6, 15-10 against Palm Beach a few weeks ago in Aspen. And they got to find their league legs right about now.
Yes,
A nice shot from Anderson to close it out, coming back around the opposite side, but that was about as perfect of a set as LA could hope for. 3 total service aces. Those are quick, easy points, plus you mentioned a couple of those good block touches in the mix. Anderson hitting 625 and Chacon at 400. Just one error of the two combined.
So LA right back to it here, playing confident and inspired volleyball, and they're hoping to continue that as their season looks forward. We mentioned how important this weekend is. They'll be back with us in a couple of weeks' time as we're off on another streak here, 3 in a row with AVP League action. We'll be with them in East Hampton. They're going to face off with Miami and Austin. Austin, another big test. #1 team in the world.
Yeah, and right now it's also the only unbeaten team on the women's side of the game. And there's only one other unbeaten on the men's side, and that's the San Diego Smash. But that's what's so fun about this dynamic with the AVP League is it moves and shifts as the season goes on, and now you're starting to see schedule strength becoming that much more important as Brooklyn now on screen. We saw them in week 1 action as well as week 2 in Aspen, but 2 very tough conditions to have to play in. Belmar, crazy wind that they had to manage, and then in Aspen it's the altitude. So for these two, just feeling a little bit more steady. Can you find that on your home sands here in LA?
Yeah, to clarify, Brooklyn Blaze are going to see Miami and Austin in East Hampton. It'll be Dallas the last weekend of the year when we see LA with San Diego and Austin in that one. So looking forward to the final 4 dates here as we embark on the second half of the season. A nice crowd gathered here in Long Beach. Kevin Barnett, Cameron Irwin, the gold medalist Rich Lamborn out on the sand as we begin 2 days of action here with the Progressive AVP League, week number 5. First set, this continues a bad trend if you're Brooklyn here. You've lost 3 straight sets in pretty dominant fashion. They hit negative 128 last time out for the entire match. As we look at our stats here, they're better than that, but 154 is not going to win a lot of matches or sets.
No, there's no doubt about it. And a 538, that's going to win you a lot of sets on the opposition. So for Brooklyn, it's not just about finding your offense, but you also have to be able to slow down the offense on the other side. So picking up your defense, it's an all-around gut check for Brooklyn right now into the second set.
And we are underway here. Brooklyn receiving, and they will get the first point. So a better start here than the end of set number 1.
Right in my way.
Lexy Denaburg back. 3 years of blocking, 1 of defense here. So she's still new to defending and can't quite get to that one. In an overall pro context, she's only defended a couple of seasons in total.
And we've seen so many of the most elite defenders in professional beach volleyball have to kind of make some of that transition, right? You think of whether it was Casey Patterson or even Trevor Crabb has been in that mix as well. He was doing some of that split blocking. But it does take a bit of time. Meg Craft, another name that stands out. She had previously been a blocker. It's about a 1, 2, 3 year process. And even if you talk to Meg Craft now, who's with the Miami Mayhem, she says that every single day you still feel like you're having to learn something new, ever evolving. And for Lexy, she feels like she really has to focus on getting the next beat as a defender and really getting a good look and understanding what the scouting report says.
What skills or capability does a former blocker bring when they go to that defensive position? So you talk about some of the deficits, but what do they bring right away?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I think blockers, one of the biggest things is you have to have great vision, right? In terms of what the attacker's doing, their line of approach, as well as understanding what their favorite shots and schemes are, because you're going up trying to take away at least half of those, if not all of them. And so as a defender, if you start to shift back that direction, you have a lot of experience watching the cues of every single attacker.
Yeah, changing responsibilities for many of the athletes across our AVP League, and maybe some changes for Brooklyn coming into the second set. Rich Lamborn.
Yeah, just talking to Coach Chris Flood for Brooklyn, and I said, you know, what changes need to happen in this second set? He said, we need to focus on our side of the net. We need to, first of all, shore up our serve and pass. And then second of all, we need to focus on imposing our will on the other side. It's kind of a step-by-step process, but all of it exists on their side of the net, according to Coach Flood.
All right, you can impose your will with some effective transition plays. Here they can't do it. Brooklyn's missed a couple of chances to score points off of digs.
Well, and it's not just that, it's also the fact that you have to be able to shore up that pass and set game like Rich and Chris Flood, their coach, were just talking about. This is what happens sometimes when you're trying to be almost too perfect, right? You feel like you're behind the 8 ball, trying to find that next level contact. Sometimes you just need to give yourself a bit more grace with some of the contacts.
Anderson with a couple of blocks already. Tripling up her normal output at the net. Here she retreats, her partner digs. Chacon checks down, puts it down the middle for the winner.
And on the opposite side, you go right back. Alaina Chacon, yet again, just digging the heavy driven ball into the angle. And I love this transition set. Look right here for Maddie Anderson. She doesn't necessarily see her partner, but understands she just needs it about 4 feet off, doesn't need to have a perfect set, but ultimately puts up a ball that she can then put some pace on and attack down the middle.
Points off their own service. That's now 10 for LA. Brooklyn has just 2. Have not been converting and struggling a bit inside out, hence the winning ways of LA, which are again gaining momentum after that 15-7 victory in the first.
Looked like just a little bit of a different set height there for Lexy Denaburg. You could see her pausing at the bottom of her jump. That's not quite in rhythm still.
Service continues to be down the middle. Donlin taking matters into her own hands, thumps one.
I love it. Relieve some of the pressure. Find a different way.
That's Julia Donlin, originally out of Mooresville.
13 out of 23 matches Julia Donlin has ever played. She has hit over 500. That is tops all time on the women's side.
Denaburg struggling in terms of the errors. Now 5 in total, 2 in this second set alone.
Good eye by Chacon to let that one clear the deep corner. And the lead remains 2. That one clearly out. Will it be another sprint from LA? Brooklyn trying to offer some resistance here. Finds a high swing over the top of the block.
It's interesting, LA switching it up. I would have gone right back to Lexy Denaburg again. Still in negative numbers as an attacker. And instead, they give Julia Donlin, who is errorless as an attacker, another look. She's hitting 750 as opposed to about negative 100 for her partner.
Same mark we were at, 6-5 in set 1. Well, it's going to be a little bit different story, at least from the start here. 7-5 now, or pardon me, 6-6 with the ace at that point, so tied up.
Great way to change the momentum. And I love this serve. It's one of the toughest in the game of beach volleyball. The ball that's high and kind of high on your bicep chest because you have to back up to play that ball.
Ace number 1 for Brooklyn. A little bit easier serve this time. Tempo, and right in front is Donlin. Back-to-back points in quick fashion, ace block. And that is number 1 for Julia.
I just want to see what we're going to get.
They're running some tempo on the side of LA. This actually becomes a little bit easier to block. More of a directional type set, less up and down, so there's really only one direction that Chacon could go, and Julia Donlin just all over it.
Should we just mark it now? Should we just go to a third set? Because that's what LA does.
I was going to say, I think I said that in set 1 that we could be going there.
I mean, they have played 4 in their rookie season here matches, and all of them have gone 3. Here we find ourselves midway point of the second set, tied at 7.
Switch sides, I'm going to find out who you are rooting for.
Yeah, I don't know that they're serving a person here, Cameron. I think they're middle the whole time.
Yeah, those 3 aces in the first set, they haven't found one yet in the second set, but they might go right back to that middle. I still want this ball on Denaburg.
Conditions different than LA, here in LA versus Las Vegas. It was about 102 degrees in Las Vegas. Here, 75 and sunny.
If you're LA, you're okay with that. You liked your block and defensive alignment. You got a good piece of it. Just a next level attack from Lexy Denaburg.
8-7 will be the side change. So Brooklyn holding steady here. Each team still with a timeout in set number 2, each with a 2-2 record. Palm Beach and Dallas were the opponents that LA lost to, going 0-2 in Las Vegas. 15-17 in the third in both of those. Here, dominant in the first. Brooklyn trying to make a push. Chacon to the right. Here's a chance. Conversion coming. Yes, with authority.
And that is the biggest difference maker as Julia Donlin looks to the crowd. It's not just about the wicked swing, but you've got to get the energy, the momentum on your side, and this is a perfect way to do it. We've talked about the transition setting. This is flawless from Julia Donlin. Perfect balance, big swing from Denaburg. And watch out, here come the Blaze.
First 2-point lead in the entire match for Brooklyn. Donlin serving to the net. Going to the corner, Chacon. She'll stay on the left this time. And chip it line.
Notably a different approach right now for Alaina Chacon as an attacker. The last 3 have been shots, right? So she's gone with a cut shot from the left side. This last time, she goes high line over the top, and you're starting to see Brooklyn there. Julia Donlin doesn't know, should she stay, should she pull, should she late pull? There's a lot of cat and mouse going on right now at the net.
Donlin, another high swing, that one off the net. Anderson was gone early. Over to the left. Denaburg, that'll score. Rich mentioned kind of trying to be more assertive and control the match. Have you seen that?
Without a doubt, a lot of it has come on. We saw it once from Julia Donlin on the option play, and this is another opportunity shoved all the way up after that first contact, and Julia Donlin just becoming that much more aggressive, seeing better opportunities in this second set. Denaburg has also reduced her total errors in the second.
To that point, it was a 6-2 run to get to 10-8 by Brooklyn.
LA right now is scoring off their shot selection. Last time they took a cut, Maddie Anderson, it was Lexy Denaburg with a big dig. Here, another back down the line. They're shooting to score right now.
They've been serving to score in the first set, not so much in the second. That one definitely to Donlin. Nobody up. Anderson. Chacon got a piece of it. Better opportunity this time for the women in blue. Got it. That's a souvenir.
Julia Donlin. The launch had a chance to tie it up.
And you talk about playing assertive. Sometimes it's not just about, hey, am I going to take a swing at the ball? Am I going to shoot the ball? Sometimes it's in your decision making. And I love that last one from Julia Donlin. She stuck with it, pulled off the net, created a second chance opportunity instead of kind of getting caught in that no man's land.
And this pair split block last year. Lots of defensive reps for Donlin already in the toolkit. Again to Chacon. Line the call, and you talked about that in between. There it is again.
They keep going back to it. Right back to the well. And whether it's Alaina Chacon on the left or even running that back set for Maddie Anderson, they're forcing that ball to the left side of the court and ball high off the block. Julia Donlin is one step away from digging that.
Brooklyn needing to hold steady here inside out. They're hitting 500 in the set. And that continues here. Another good score by Denaburg this time. So the offense has picked up on the Brooklyn side, and as has the score. 12-10, trying to force a third set. LA within reach of closing out. Be the first sweep for them in their progressive AVP League history. Cut shot. Oh, expertly done.
That's playing one step ahead. You've had success after success down the line. You know Brooklyn's starting to shift. I said Julia's one step away. Brooklyn's defense started to negate that direction. Next thing you know, you go with the complimentary shot. Cut back to the right.
Every side out over 10 looms bigger than the ones before. Trying to hold the lead at 2. Donlin will circle around, right side, well off the net. Too much time for Chacon. Who gets another kill in transition, another real point, and we are tied at 12.
If there's one thing we learned about the LA Launch women, it's they are at their best when their backs are against the wall. This second set to tie the score, a dig through the seam. When you're a defender trying to dig the heavy driven ball, oftentimes you're thinking digging to the right side of your body. That time she stayed steady, stayed balanced, able to make the play on her left. That's a next level elite performance from Alaina Chacon.
There are other people here.
You're enjoying Progressive AVP League action right now. Next Saturday, we head to the heart of New York City. You can watch the world's best battle to rule Central Park. The Progressive AVP League from Central Park. Next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the CW. What a beautiful sight that is, a return to New York City. They showed up last year. It was a rockin' affair inside Woolman Rink. We're looking forward to another opportunity to enjoy another American metropolis. Chacon is seeing more serves than Anderson. And she is seeing a lot of action here. Let's get a progressive stat pack on Alaina Chacon, who continues to be a shovel back there. 5 digs, but here, how about the conversions? 563.
I mean, that is a very high mark. Again, you think about the defense, though, just 5 total digs. We're used to seeing 10 digs per set. We're late in this match, and she's only sitting at 5. Reminder, she's had 20 plus in every single match she's played thus far, so maybe that's the next key for LA.
Some of that's been a function of going long. LA trying to go short. They need 3. There's 1.
13-12, 3 straight points in the launch. Take the lead.
Leading for the first time since early in this one before the side change.
And this goes back to Rich Lamborn and Chris Flood having that conversation. The pass, the set, that ball well off the net, nobody home. Julia Donlin knows what kind of opportunity she just missed.
Little mini 3-0 run, short serve this time. Block there, dig there. Chacon, just lethal earlier, this time picked up by Denaburg. Can't make much of it. Good overhead dig by Donlin. Anderson with the control. That'll have to go, and it's a winner.
That is so close. It is on the line. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely fantastic. Both blockers pulling off defense on both sides of the net.
This is our juiced up moment of the match presented by Beach Juice. Making something out of nothing on an extended rally here.
You think it's gonna be Chacon with the dig after dig, and then next thing you know, her partner sets her up on a tough challenge ball blocked, and then finds another.
Beach Juice, Zero Sugar Hard Tropical Punch. That was a punch to the gut for Brooklyn. His match point is now at the service line. Anderson. Still working on Donlin. Got 2 from her. How about 3? No.
Not done yet. 13.
Well, they'll have to fight another one off here.
Match point.
Brooklyn has to have this one to extend the match.
Question is, they go back to Chacon and kind of force her to stay to that left sideline. She's got that nasty cut, but she's also has the high line in the bag.
Down the middle, Anderson circles. And scores. This one's over.
With a straight set victory, 57-15, 13.
That high line just did so much work in this matchup. LA stayed true to their scouting report. They found what was successful and they stuck with it from first to second. Their service pressure, another really important factor in this matchup for this rookie duo.
You said you love it when what you work on in practice comes to fruition in the match. Right away, the service game put a ton of pressure on Brooklyn.
And not just the service game, it was also that transition setting. That was a perfect example, right? That's inside out, but a ball that's well off the net allows Maddie Anderson to look, see the block, see the defense down in front of her, and select the right shot.
They selected a number of perfect shots throughout that entire match. They hit 556, does LA, and they are with Rich Lamborn.
Congratulations, guys. Unbelievable. That's a little bit different than every other match we've seen from you, in that you got it done in straight sets. What was the difference?
I mean, I didn't have 20 digs, and I'm very much okay with that. I'd rather it end in 2, so I'm happy that we finished, and Maddie really stepped up, carried me through. Super proud of our performance.
Was it the banner that was flying across the sky that said, "The world is yours"?
Honestly, that thing is literally insane. I mean, I can't believe I have so many people who love me as much to put up a freaking banner in the air, but I mean, I'm just so blessed and so happy to be here and so excited about how we performed, and yeah, a lot more to come.
You guys were down most of the second set, but as you've done throughout the season, kind of when your backs are against the wall, that's when you put forth your finest performance. What was the key to turning it around?
I mean, I feel like Maddie made some great touches on the block. We had a couple good serves, got them out of system, and then we just made some magic. Some of those plays were crazy, but they went our way this time, which is awesome.
So that's the volleyball excuses, and then the shades. The shades really pushed you over the top?
Shades, shout out Rich, shout out Cal.
Fantastic, fantastic. Congratulations, the LA launch. Victorious.
LA launch for the first time take a straight sets victory. And Maddie Anderson getting some extra love in the sky.
I mean, I gotta find out, how do I get a banner in the sky? That's unbelievable. All the support, that's what's so fun. Even though this duo is based on the East Coast, they're getting some love out here on the West.
Nice moment for LA as they move their record to 3-2. Mention how big every one of these victories are for Brooklyn. They have more work to do to even get a chance to defend their title in Chicago. They go to 2-3 in straight sets. AVP League is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
Side box. We are looking for a group. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I know, very exciting. I know, I love it. Thank you. You must be an AVP Gold member, and you must show us your AVP Gold membership. So let's see. Now some of the hands went down. Shame on you. Give me that gold membership. It gets you a lot, including opportunity to get a free box. So that guy wants it. I believe that lady wants it. I know that guy wants it. You know what that guy wants it? Are you going to choose, Josh? Am I going to choose somebody?